Good morning. I'm so excited to have everyone here. I'm so excited for this morning. I'm in a high vibing place this morning. If you can't feel it, which is nice. It's nice. It's nice to be in a high vibing place in the morning. It means that the day is going to be big energy. That's productivity in the making. Okay, it's top of the hour. Let's go. Good morning. Good morning, happy Friday. I'm Melissa Agnes, and this is Morning Lives with me, Melissa Agnes, a daily space to help leaders just like you stay grounded and connected in your inner strength, in your resilience, in your vision, in your purpose, and that is exactly what we're talking about today. I'm very excited about it. So essentially, as you do the work that you are called to do, that you are here on this planet in this lifetime to do, and you are somebody who wants to consistently just strengthen your skills in leading from unwavering steadiness, which can be extremely challenging to do, right? Because we're human. And increased clarity, especially in the moments where things aren't always clear and the leader doesn't always have all the answers. So how do you find increased clarity in those moments of uncertainty when you have to lead? And you want to deepen that. And you want to deepen your connection ultimately to yourself, so important, to source, God, creator, universe, quantum, infinite wisdom, whatever you want to call it, that thing that is bigger than any of us, that guides us, that is in co-creation with us, and connection, obviously, with those you are leading, those you are called and here to move and lead. Then this is exactly why I show up every morning, is to help you do those things. So each morning on Morning Lives with me, I share one anchoring message that is meant to inspire, empower, broaden perspective, because I think that's so important for us to always be intaking new information and new perspectives so that we can broaden what we know and overcome our own biases and our own limiting beliefs, etc. And then we follow that up with what we call a coherence drop-in. So we drop into our bodies, we drop into heart-brain coherence so that you can step into the rest of your day in alignment, in clarity, in power. Okay, there is a lag, and I'm so sorry about that. So there's a lag that sorry, I just saw my little brother show up. Hi, Sai. I love that you're here this morning or your afternoon. Okay, I'll go to LinkedIn so I don't get distracted. There's a lag, especially on LinkedIn, and I apologize. So please share your comments and your questions live in the chat. I will see them. I will address them. But it's going to be a minute before you hear the response, and I apologize. And then my ask is, if these morning lives serve you, if you get any kind of value and benefit from them, which I hope that you do greatly, share. Please share. Please share the morning lives. Please share my profile. Please talk about them. Please invite people, to other leaders, to come and start their days off with them. That is my ask. Okay, today I want to talk about vision setting, and it's one of my most favorite things to do, and I'm going to share why, and I'm going to share the power of it. And yesterday we talked about how of achieving your vision, of bringing your vision to life, of achieving your mission and your goals is actually not your responsibility. So if you didn't tune into yesterday and you're like, what is she talking about? Go see yesterday's Morning Live. All Morning Lives are recorded and published to LinkedIn, YouTube, and you can stream them anywhere podcasts are streamed. So you can listen to them as a podcast if you want. So go listen to yesterday's. Yesterday's and today's goes really well together. Today I actually have a vision sharing meeting with a new contact, a new peer that I'm super excited about. So I thought, why not bring that to you guys? So what do I mean by vision setting? I speak to, you are a visionary leader. If you join me every morning, you're a visionary leader. It doesn't matter what that vision is. It doesn't matter what you're here to lead. It doesn't matter, what I'm trying to say is that you could be here to change the world for the better, and you could be here to live a grounded, potent, happy life with your family, right? One is not more significant or insignificant than the other. And so this is really for everybody, is setting your visions. So vision is a little bit different from goals. Goal setting is not, for lack of a better way of saying, I was trying to feel into how to really communicate this today. Goal setting is not as potent or big or expansive, and therefore not as impactful as vision setting. When you vision set, you are really feeling into your biggest, wildest dreams of what you want to experience in your lifetime, right? That might be for you, that might be for your family, that might be as a mission-driven leader who wants to change the world. All are relevant, all are applicable. Goal setting is like kind of like New Year's resolutions if you don't have a vision. So goal setting is like, I'm going to achieve these things. When you set a vision, you actually get to play. You get to do all of the things that we do together every morning, and all of the kind of culmination of what I've talked about in these morning lives over the last 8 weeks, because we're 8 weeks into this show. You're really setting this like big vision and intention for what you are here to do, or what you want to experience, or what you want to live. And then from that, you set your goals. So it's very different. And when it comes to vision setting, I've talked in the past about possibility leadership versus probability leadership, and I won't go into it today because we don't have enough time, but if you're interested in learning more about that, there is another episode of Morning Lives with Melissa Agnes where I talk about that specifically. Possibility leadership means that you know that every single possibility exists right here, right now in superposition. And where you put your attention, where you put your focus is what you call to you, right? Is what you bring into life. That's how everything is created in our 4-dimensional world, individually and collectively. And so that means that whatever your vision is, you get to believe, you get to dream so big and so delusionally. Delusional is so important. And believe that that's true, because every possibility exists in superposition. So absolutely your vision. And if yesterday I talked about how your vision was given to you by design, right? It wasn't, if it lands in your heart and it's the thing that lights you up, and you have like these big dreams and these big goals and these big ambitions, they're 1000% possible, and they're meant for you, because it wouldn't be on your heart. It wouldn't be your highest vibration, meaning it wouldn't excite you and motivate you and light you up the way that it does if it wasn't meant for you and if it wasn't possible. So every single thing that you visualize, that you envision, that you want to experience and achieve is actually possible. The how to do that is yesterday's episode. Today, I really want to enforce how like delusional. So you get to go. And so one of the things, like in my relationship, at home with my fiance, Aaron, we love creating visions together and then bringing them to life. So many times we're called delusional, and I do this as a mission-driven leader as well. My goals and my visions are always like delusional, and I get to work towards them, and I get to watch them come to life, and I get to watch the incredible positive impact that I get to have on the world and on communities and on leaders and with people as a result of that. But because I believe in my vision. And that's a little bit of what we talked about yesterday. So when you're vision setting, the goal here, my purpose here is to say that there is no vision that is too big. And I'm going to give you an example. And this is a personal example, okay? That is like radical. Okay, I'll just say it. So I'm engaged. I'm getting married in June of this year. And we decided, I kind of like named it I was like, I want to get married in a chateau in France. And for whatever reason, there's kind of a little bit of a backstory with that, but not necessary. Decided that. I'm from Montreal, I'm bilingual, we love French, we love France, we love to travel, all the things. And I decided, I was like, I want it to be 4 nights, and I want to privatize a chateau. And I started listing out together, we did this together, we started listing out all of the things that we want. Like, for Aaron, he's a DJ, and music is so important, and so it's like we don't want any caps on the voltage of music, or however you word that, the sound limits, right? And I was like, I don't want anybody telling me that the lights have to be turned back on at midnight. Like, I want to party until 6 a.m. the day of our wedding. Done. Just like all of these different things. And there was a long list of like, we just sat in, and when I do this, there's no limit. We yes and each other, or you yes and yourself. So it's like, okay, what else could it be, right? What else could it be? What else could it be? And you're building this vision, and in your mind, you're really feeling into, because you're creating this story that you're actually experiencing in the moment that you're visualizing it, that you're calling upon it, that you're creating it. And when you do this with someone else, the right person, not the naysayer, not the person who's like, you can't have that. You're asking too much now, right? Not that person. That's not the right person to share your vision with, and especially not to create your vision with. But when you do this with the right person, it's the most energizing, exciting, high, like empowering, high potential, infinite potentiality thing to do. And then you set the vision there. So for us, I remember like we had this, we're like privatized chateau in France, like real chateau, all these different things. And then I would share this with some of our friends and I'd be like, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for. We want all these things. And I remember several people individually at different times would say, okay, well, what are you willing to compromise on? I was like, what do you mean? They were like, well, you can't have all of these. Like, there's no way that you're going to have all of this. So what are you willing to compromise on? Be realistic. And I was like, why would I even put that into the field, right? Like, these are what I want. And I'm searching across all of a country of France. And if we have to go outside of France to the rest of Europe, like, okay, we're going to find this. And we're going to find it with ease. So that goes back to yesterday, the how. So we're like, okay, we have this vision of what we want to, where we want to host our wedding and what we want that experience to feel like, right? That setting. And we go about our days. And what happened? So now going back to yesterday, how the how is not your responsibility. I don't know how to find this chateau. I don't even know where to begin. What, you Google chateaus in France or chateaus in Europe? Like, maybe you might find it that way. And also, maybe you won't, right? The how is not your responsibility. So a few weeks later, we are with my best friend. It's her husband's birthday. It's the four of us. And after bowling, we decide that we want to go into this used furniture store. And so we're walking into the used furniture store, and we're like 2 feet in, and I'm standing here. Erin is like behind me. There's like a bookshelf here. And I'm speaking with my best friend, and we're having this conversation. And I can hear that Erin is reading something in French. And because I'm bilingual, he's learning French. He's been learning French. And so because I'm bilingual, he'll read to me everything that he sees in French. It's just kind of like what we do. And I hear the word chateau, which is castle in French, come out of his mouth. And I went, I'm sorry, what? Pardon me? And in it, I don't have it with me. I should have brought it with me. But anyway, there's this big green book that is all about all of the chateaus around the world. And so we're like, this is our book. Like, we're buying this book. So we buy the book. And the next day, we're sitting on our couch together. We're like, let's go through this book. And we go through the pages. And then we decide to go to the website because we figure there's probably going to be more on the website. And we are looking through the website. And all of a sudden, we reach this chateau. And we're looking through the pictures. And it was like this moment of, I saw all of the vision. And this is like so magical. I saw Erin see all of the vision. And I knew that those visions were aligned, and we looked and we're like, that's our chateau. Oh my goodness. And so we get on a call with them to first find out if they do weddings, all the things. And we have a call, and every single thing on our list was a yes. They didn't say no to one thing on that list. There was no need to compromise, right? And so all of this, and it's ridiculous. And not to mention that it was feasible. It's not this extravagant, it was feasible, right, financially, and it was in our budget. And so, one would think that it wasn't. If you see this place, you'd think that like it's probably like $500,000 for like 4 days, right? It wasn't. And all of that to say, combining today and yesterday's lives, topics. Creating your vision is a really, really important thing for visionary leaders, for mission-driven leaders. And maybe you already have a vision that's on your heart. And so let this, if you need it, for anybody who needs to hear it, let this be an invitation and a permissioning to really sit there and go in and go, okay, how big is this vision? How delusional can I get with this vision, with my business, right? The vision of my business, the vision of the impact that I want to have on the world, the vision of my family life and my community and my friends and all of the things, my wealth, all of the things. And really allow yourself to yes and it, because every single possibility exists in superposition. And we are our biggest limits, our biggest limitations. Our belief systems are our biggest limitations. And so it's not until you say, let's be realistic, that you then make your vision not possible. So that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Be delusional. And then yesterday I talked about what is your responsibility if the how is not your responsibility. The first piece that I said was believe. Believe in your vision with everything in you. Be a custodian of that vision. And then do everything else that I talked about yesterday, right? As a practice, as a leadership practice, as a custodian of that vision practice. Allow yourself to dream big. Allow yourself to know that everything you dream is actually feasible, is actually possible. And when I say the how isn't your responsibility, we could not, Aaron and I would not have found that chateau on our own. We could not have anticipated that walking into a used furniture store for fun with friends on their birthday would actually guide us to the chateau, right, of our dreams, of our vision. And so that's where I mean the how is not your responsibility. Go back to yesterday's episode. And your vision, let me just think, is just get big and know that it's possible. Don't let your current reality dictate what's possible, because every possibility exists in superposition. And so what is today, that would be if you allow your current reality to make your vision smaller, then you are living in probability, you are not living in possibility. And that's a mindset and belief system switch. That is something that we do deeply, deeply in the Visionary Leadership Mastermind. Something I teach very profoundly so that you really embody it and this becomes you and how you see the world and how you live your life and how you lead. Share it with the right people. Yeah, those were my notes for today. Share it with the right people. I know at this point in my life, I know that everything is possible because I know what I've experienced in my life and I've watched myself make things happen that otherwise was like, they shouldn't have happened in theory, right? In practicality. So I can share things with other people and hear them call me delusional, which happens frequently, and let that roll off my shoulders. But that's because I have such firm belief and knowing of who I am and what I'm capable of and how the universe works. If you're not there yet, because that takes time, then be very, very protective around who you share your vision with, because you want the right energy injected into it. You want to share it with people who go like, how do you yes and that? Oh my goodness, I can't wait to watch you bring this to life. Not the people who go, well, based on my experience, my limiting beliefs, I don't think that's possible. That's not who you need. That's not who you want to share your vision with, because you want to inject the right energy into it. All right, that being said, that's my share today. I'd love to hear how that lands with you. I could go on and on and on about the experiences that I've had in creating visions. Is one of my most favorite things to do. That's one of my most favorite things to do. And that's why, because we get to dream so big and so outside of reality, and then we get to watch it happen, right? When we take aligned action, when we believe, when we prioritize all the things that I said yesterday. Okay, let's do our drop-in. And today, in our drop-in, invitation to get still and to really feel into and permission yourself to dream big. What is your current vision that you hold in your heart, right? That you're here to achieve and to experience. And then maybe it is exactly what you want it to be and what it needs to be. And what else can be true is maybe you've limited it a little bit. So today in our drop-in, let's get with the bigness of the possibilities. All right. So for those of you who are joining for the first time and doing this drop-in with me for the first time, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. What we do is it's breathing. So it's in through the nose, out through the mouth. You just have to listen to my voice. Your body, trust your body. So if I invite you to do one thing and your body's like, but this over here, this other thing feels so good, follow your body. Your body is your highest authority. What we're doing here is we're tapping out of the brain, which is where our limiting beliefs live, which is where our fear, our doubt, our anxiety, our worry, our stress, all of that crap lives. And we get into the body, where we find stillness, where we find calm, where we find clarity, where we find our coherence, our alignment. our safety, and the most potent version of our leadership. So, getting comfortable, getting still. If you've already had a day, shaking it out if you feel like you need to. And closing down the eyes or softening the gaze, whatever feels most comfortable to you. And let's begin the breath. So it's in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you breathe, if your thoughts start to stir up and you start to think, that's perfectly fine because you're human and you're alive, and so that's actually a great thing. And the second you notice it, it's just about coming back to that breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And on your next exhale, so again, in through the nose, and on your next exhale, out through the mouth, let's follow that breath down the body, down your throat, down your chest, down your belly, and landing in your sit bones. So bringing your awareness with that breath, bringing your awareness to the sensation of the seat that you're sitting on against your skin. What does that feel like? What do you notice? Keep that breath flowing. Notice how that seat, how stable it is, how sturdy it is, how comfortable or uncomfortable it might be. Notice the sensations against your skin, against your body. And notice how if you are to let go right now and really sink in more deeply, more comfortably into that seat, that it's not going to drop you and that it's not going to mind. So you are free in this moment, you are safe in this moment to offload whatever you don't want to carry into that seat and to just be calm, stay calm, and gift yourself these few moments of staying with your breath. Tapping into your body, letting it feel so good. And on your next inhale, through your nose, let's bring that breath back up from your sit bones. Let it travel up through your belly and land right in your heart space. If it's supportive, bringing a hand to your heart to help your mind, your awareness focus in this area. And the practice of choosing where your awareness goes. So we went from the sit bones and the sensations of the seat up to the heart space. This practice of choosing where you put your awareness and your attention is really, really potent, is really important for visionary leaders. It's a great practice. And as you breathe in through the nose, I want you to imagine that it is your heart that is actually taking in that oxygen. So you're opening up your chest cavity, you're visualizing your heart opening up and expanding, and just opening and taking in all of that breath from your heart. So it's in through the nose, opening up and expanding, and then out through the mouth, you're going to follow that breath down into your belly, into your solar plexus. And if it's helpful here, to put a hand on your belly. And this is the flow that we're taking. So it's in through the nose, opening up that heart space, pulling in the air into that heart, and then out through the mouth and following that breath down into the safety, the security, the calmness of your belly. And again, if your brain kicks in, that's wonderful. You're alive. Just come back to picturing that breath coming in through your heart, opening up, expanding, and then exhaling, sinking deeper into your belly, into your body. And as you do this, invitation to bring in your vision. What is the biggest dream that is on your heart right now? Full permission to be completely delusional. As big as you can get, as big as that dream can get, as big as that vision can get. What will it feel like? Not would, will. What will it feel like when you live the day of that vision manifested, that vision come to life? I want you to project yourself into that moment. And as you breathe in through the nose, opening up that heart space, out through the mouth, sinking deeply into your body, into your belly, allow yourself to really feel into the bigness of that moment, how great it'll feel, who will be there, how expansive will you feel, how grateful, how excited, how filled with love, all of the things. And let's just take a few moments to continue breathing, doing this breath cycle, and really allowing yourself to feel into that vision, full permission to be completely delusional. Your brain doesn't get to be practical here. It's not invited. It's not welcome to this party. How much more deeply, how much more good, how much better, how much even better can you allow this to feel? And what do you notice? Right? There's no wrong here. So do you notice tension? Do you notice limiting beliefs? Do you notice doubt? If you do, that could be present. Do you also notice excitement? Is there a part of you that's whispering like, go bigger, more is possible? Just notice, just get curious. This is a practice truly, like going to the gym and doing your reps. This is a practice in really sinking into and stepping into your biggest power as a visionary leader. And then when you're ready, bringing a hand to your heart space, and let's just be deeply grateful for a moment, feeling in to the energy and the feeling of gratefulness, of gratitude. Gratitude for this moment that you've gifted to yourself, this moment that you've permissioned yourself, this moment that maybe you've listened to some silent whispers or that have been trying to get your attention maybe. Gratitude for this moment of belief. And when you're ready, coming back to the screen and joining me. And if you feel called, I'd love to hear how this experience was for you. Write in the chat. And as you write in the chat, I'm going to just close out to get you on to the rest of your day and saying in closing that as a visionary leader, which you are, period, you get to dream. It's actually your responsibility to dream as big as you possibly can and to believe in the possibility of that dream. Because you are then, once that vision lands in your heart and it makes you feel excited and alive, that's your indication that that vision is meant for you. And if it was meant for you, there's a way towards it. There's a way to achieve it. The how is not your responsibility, and we talked about that in yesterday's episode, so go listen to that if you haven't already. Today is really about permissioning yourself to dream and to envision, to yes and yourself in creating your vision. Nothing is ridiculous. Nothing is actually delusional. It is when somebody tells you that that's not practical or that's not possible, that is their fear talking. That is not truth talking. That is fear talking. That is limiting beliefs talking. And that is theirs. That doesn't have to be yours. As a visionary leader, as a mission-driven, purpose-driven leader, it's actually our responsibility to say, let me lead by example and let me show you what is actually possible. I gave the example today of planning my wedding, right? And the amount of people who said, what are you willing to compromise on? Because you can't have all of that. I didn't shrink the dream. We didn't shrink our vision to match their belief system. We believed in our vision. We let go of the how. And we got it all. We have it all. And it's going to be so fantastic, right? So everything is possible. And it is it's yours to dream. And if you can dream it, it's meant to be yours. So believe it. Feel into it. Allow this to be a really fun and juicy and energizing, revitalizing exercise. And if you want to share more with me about this journey that you're on, I would love to hear it. So feel free to DM me or to email me. My information is everywhere, Melissa Agnes. And if this is something, if you want to be the leader, if you know there's a piece of you, a part of you that's going, I know that I am a visionary leader, and I know that my dream and my vision is so big, and I know that I'm meant to bring it to this world. I just don't necessarily know fully how yet, or haven't fully stepped into that identity yet, but I want to. If there's a piece of you, a part of you that has that narrative, go to melissaagnes.com, go to click on Visionary Leadership Mastermind, and go apply. Because that mastermind is meant for you, and I can't wait to have a conversation to hear more about your vision and how that mastermind, that program, will support you in really stepping into and embodying the full potential, infinite potentiality, the full potential of the visionary leader that you're being called into being. All right, with that said, I am wishing you a beautiful weekend, and I will see you on Monday for another morning live with me, Melissa Agnes, at 9 a.m. Eastern, streamed on LinkedIn and IG at the same time. And with that, thank you for joining me today. Have fun dreaming this weekend. Go have fun. All right, I'll see you on Monday. Thank you. Bye.